A few days ago, I was convinced we were breaking up. Now I'm taking a pregnancy test. So much has happened. I would love to find out that I'm pregnant and get this incredible news.
Vixen of the internet. I'm glad that I'm getting to give you my virginity, and I wouldn't want to give it to anybody else but you. You're gonna have to help me get this on, by the
way. You have to decide it yes or no, but if no, they have to hold me.
Is silent except for the sound of her breath, shaky and shallow as she stares down at the pregnancy test in her hand. One line or two, and everything changes. She's not even sure if she wants to look, but she can't look away. Just days ago, she was convinced this relationship was over, done, finished, and now she's holding the kind of secret that could tie them together for life. If it's positive, she's got a lifetime of questions and a partner who might not even want to be there. If it's negative, she's left with the same old heartbreak, but at least she's free. Or is she? This is the kind of moment that makes you question every decision, every late-night fight, every promise that sounded good until reality hit. Welcome to Reality Sport. I'm Oliva, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and drop your wildest relationship plot twist in the comments. Because tonight, we're not just watching drama, we're living it. 3 couples, 3 ticking time bombs, and not a single one of them ready for what's about to hit. First up, we've got a boyfriend sweating bullets in front of his girlfriend's family, who want answers about babies, marriage, and whether he's man enough to step up. The dad's not playing around, and the pressure is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Then there's the couple who can't keep their hands off each other, but trust? That's another story. She's late, he's nervous, and both of them are pretending this is just another day, but everyone knows a baby won't fix cheating, no matter how many times you say you're sorry. And finally, the sweethearts who've waited forever for their first time, only to find out that love isn't always enough when visas, mothers, and real life get in the way. Each couple is standing on the edge, and nobody knows who's about to fall. So here's the question that's about to haunt every minute of this story. Can a baby really fix what's broken? Or does it just make the cracks deeper? Is it hope? Or is it desperation? Because when you're staring down at a pregnancy test, you're not just thinking about diapers and midnight feedings. You're thinking about whether you're about to save your relationship or set yourself up for a lifetime of regret. And let's be honest, sometimes the scariest thing isn't the result, it's what you're willing to risk for a shot at happiness, even if it's built on shaky ground. Right now, the test is sitting on the bathroom counter, the seconds ticking by like hours. She's biting her lip, he's pacing outside the door, and both of them are replaying every argument, every apology, every moment that led them here. The stakes have never been higher, and the truth is, nobody's ready for what comes next. But before we find out if it's one line or two, let's rewind and see how these couples got tangled up in secrets, ultimatums, and the kind of choices that don't come with a do-over. Because sometimes the real drama isn't in the answer, it's in the questions you're too scared to ask. He's sitting at the dinner table, fork frozen halfway to his mouth, sweat beading on his forehead as her father leans in, eyes sharp and unblinking. The air is thick with expectation, and every clink of a glass feels like a countdown. This isn't just a family meal, it's an interrogation, and he's the main suspect. Her mother tries to keep the conversation light, but the father isn't here for small talk. He wants answers, and he wants them now. Are you ready to give my daughter a family? Are you prepared to step up, or are you wasting her time? The questions come fast, each one heavier than the last, and the boyfriend's smile is starting to crack. He's outnumbered, outgunned, and completely out of his depth. The generational divide is impossible to ignore. For her father, having children isn't just a personal choice, it's a duty, a sign of success, the only way to prove you're a real man. He talks about legacy, about tradition, about how a house isn't a home until it's filled with the sound of children's laughter. The boyfriend, raised in a world where dreams come before diapers, tries to nod along, but every word feels like a trap. He's not sure he even wants kids, at least not right now, but saying that out loud would be like lighting a match in a room full of gasoline. He glances at his girlfriend, hoping for backup, but she's staring at her plate, lost in her own storm. She's not just quiet, she's haunted. Her need for a family isn't about tradition or pressure. It's about filling a hole that's been there since she was a child, left behind by a mother who chose someone else. She spent her whole life trying to prove she's worthy of love, that she can do better, that she won't repeat the mistakes that broke her. Every time her father pushes, she feels the weight of her own desperation. She wants a baby, not just for herself, but to prove to the world, and to herself, that she can be the mother she never had. The boyfriend knows this, and it terrifies him. He's not sure he can give her what she needs, but he's even less sure he can say no. The father isn't letting up. He lays it out, plain and simple. If you're not ready to start a family, you're not welcome here. My daughter deserves someone who's all in, not someone who's half-hearted. The boyfriend's heart is pounding so loud he can barely hear the rest. He tries to deflect, to talk about how much he loves her, how hard he's working to fit in, but the father isn't buying it. Love is nice, but it doesn't pay for diapers or sleepless nights. The ultimatum hangs in the air, and everyone knows there's no coming back from this moment. What nobody at the table knows is that the boyfriend is hiding something, a secret that could blow up everything if it ever comes out. He's already got kids, 5 of them, from a past he's tried to leave behind. 2 are still young, and the thought of adding another child to the mix makes his head spin. He's not just scared of commitment, he's scared of being honest, of admitting that he's not the man they want him to be. If he tells the truth, he risks losing her forever. If he lies, he's trapped in a promise he can't keep. The girlfriend looks up, eyes shining with hope and fear, waiting for him to say the words that will make everything okay. The father leans in, demanding a straight answer. The boyfriend opens his mouth, but the truth sticks in his throat. Will he cave to the pressure, or finally admit what he's been hiding? And if he does, will it be too late to save what's left of their relationship? The secret is hanging over the table, ready to explode, and nobody knows which way he'll jump. She sits on the edge of the bed, knees pulled to her chest, staring at her phone as if it might deliver the answer she's too afraid to say out loud. Every notification makes her jump. Every silence feels like a warning. Her boyfriend is out again, probably at some club, laughing with friends, maybe with someone else. She tries not to imagine it, but the images come anyway. Him dancing, him flirting, him forgetting she even exists. The trust between them is thin, stretched to the breaking point by late nights and whispered rumors. She's heard the stories, seen the texts, felt the cold distance that settles in after every fight. Still, she clings to hope, desperate for something to change. Her logic is simple, even if it's flawed. If she's pregnant, maybe he'll finally see her, finally choose her over the parties and the girls and the endless distractions. Maybe a baby will be the anchor that keeps him from drifting away. She knows it's risky, knows it's not the fairy tale ending she dreamed of, but she's running out of options. Every month that passes without a ring, without a promise, feels like another step closer to losing him for good. She's tired of waiting, tired of wondering if she's enough. A baby, she thinks, could be the answer to everything. He's not making it easy. One minute he's sweet, promising the world, talking about their future like it's already written. The next, he's distant, distracted, barely present. When she brings up the possibility of a baby, he laughs it off, says they're too young, too wild, too free to settle down. But then he'll turn around and say he wants a family someday, that she's the only one he can imagine it with. The mixed signals are dizzying and she's left spinning, never sure where she stands. The shadow of infidelity hangs over them, a constant reminder that love isn't always enough to keep someone loyal. Tonight, she's late. Not just a little late, late enough to worry, late enough to hope. She hasn't told him yet. Not really. She's waiting for the right moment, waiting to see if this is the thing that finally tips the scales in her favor. If the test is positive, maybe he'll step up, become the man she's always wanted him to be. Maybe he'll see her as more than a convenience, more than a backup plan. If it's negative, she's not sure what she'll do. Keep pretending? Keep hoping? Or finally walk away before she loses herself completely? He comes home, smelling like sweat and cheap cologne, eyes bright from the night out. She tries to read his mood, searching for any sign that he's ready to talk, ready to be serious. He flops onto the bed, scrolling through his phone, barely glancing her way. She wants to scream, to shake him, to make him see how much she's hurting. Instead, she swallows her fear and asks if he'd be happy if she was pregnant. He shrugs, says he'd be there for her, but there's no conviction in his voice. She wonders if he even means it, or if he's just saying what he thinks she wants to hear. The test is waiting in the bathroom, a silent judge of their future. She knows the answer will change everything, one way or another. If it's positive, she'll have to face the reality of raising a child with someone who might never grow up. If it's negative, she'll have to decide if she's willing to keep fighting for a love that feels more like a battle. What she doesn't know is that he's hiding something too, a secret that could flip their entire relationship upside down. The truth is, sometimes the biggest shock isn't the result, it's what comes after, when the masks come off and the real decisions begin. He stands in front of the hotel mirror, hands trembling as he tries to fix his collar for the third time, heart pounding so loud he's sure she can hear it through the wall. Tonight isn't just about crossing a line, it's about proving to himself that he's ready to leave the past behind, to step out from under his mother's shadow and into a future he's only dared to imagine. He's waited years for this, dreamed about it on lonely nights, but now that it's here, the weight of what's at stake feels almost too much to bear. Every detail matters, every word, every glance, because this isn't just about sex. It's about trust, about hope, about the kind of love that survives even when the world seems determined to pull you apart. She's in the bathroom, staring at her reflection, trying to calm the butterflies in her stomach. She's nervous, but not for the reasons people might think. It's not about the act itself, but about what comes after. Will he still look at her the same way? Will this make them stronger, or will it just add another complication to a life already overflowing with uncertainty? Her mother's voice echoes in her mind, warning her about rushing, about giving away something precious before she's sure. But how can anyone ever be sure? She wants this, wants him, but she's terrified that one night could change everything, for better or worse. The hotel room is small but cozy, a little oasis away from the chaos of family and paperwork and endless questions about the future. For a few hours, it's just the two of them. No mothers, no lawyers, no deadlines. He tries to make her laugh, to break the tension, but his jokes fall flat, and she can see the fear in his eyes. He's worried about disappointing her, about not living up to the expectations that have built up over years of waiting. She reaches for his hand, squeezing it tight, and for a moment, the world feels simple again. Two people, one night, 1,000 possibilities. But the outside world isn't so easy to ignore. His mother has made her feelings clear. She doesn't trust this relationship, doesn't believe her son is ready to make such a big commitment. She's threatened to pull him back home, to cut off support if he doesn't listen. The immigration lawyer hasn't helped, either laying out the cold, hard facts, his income isn't enough, the paperwork is a mess, and there's no guarantee they'll get to stay together. Every time they start to feel hopeful, reality comes crashing in, reminding them that love isn't always enough to keep two people in the same country, let alone the same room. He tries to push the doubts aside, focusing on her, on the way she smiles when she's nervous, on the way her hand fits perfectly in his. He tells her she's beautiful, that he's lucky to have her, and for a moment, she believes it. They talk about the future, about where they'll live, about the kind of life they want to build together. It all sounds so easy in the quiet of the hotel room, but they both know the world outside is waiting, ready to test every promise they make tonight. As the night goes on, the nerves start to fade, replaced by something softer, more certain. They take things slow, checking in with each other, making sure every step feels right. There's laughter, awkwardness, a few false starts, but none of it matters. What matters is the trust, the willingness to be vulnerable, to let someone see you at your most unguarded. For both of them, this isn't just about losing their virginity, it's about choosing each other, about saying yes to a future that's still uncertain, but suddenly feels a little more possible. Afterward, they lie together in the dark, tangled up in sheets in each other, hearts still racing. He tells her he's never felt closer to anyone, that tonight changed everything for him. She smiles, tears in her eyes, and says she feels the same. For a moment, it feels like nothing can touch them, like they've built a little world of their own, safe from the chaos outside. But reality is never far away. In the morning, his phone buzzes with messages from his mother, demanding to know where he is, reminding him of everything he stands to lose if he doesn't come home. The lawyer calls too with more bad news about the visa. The bubble bursts, and suddenly all the old fears come rushing back. Will this night be enough to keep them together, or will it just make the goodbye even harder when the time comes? They sit on the edge of the bed, holding hands, trying to figure out what comes next. He says he's willing to stay, to fight for her, even if it means disappointing his mother and risking everything he's ever known. She says she's scared, but she believes in them, believes they can make it work if they stick together. The decision they make in that hotel room will surprise everyone, even themselves, and it's a choice that will echo through every moment that follows. The question is, will love be enough to overcome the obstacles, or will the world outside prove too much for even the strongest bond? The bathroom door creaks open and she steps out, clutching the pregnancy test so tightly her knuckles are white. He's waiting in the hallway, eyes darting between her face and the little plastic stick, searching for any clue about what their future holds. She doesn't say a word, just hands it to him, and for a moment, the world stands still. One line, negative. The air rushes out of his lungs and he tries to hide the relief that flashes across his face, but she sees it. She feels it. The hope she'd been clinging to slips through her fingers, replaced by a hollow ache that settles deep in her chest. He says he's sorry, that he would have been there for her, but the words sound empty, rehearsed, like he's reading from a script he never wanted to memorize. She nods, pretending to believe him, but inside, she knows the truth. A baby wouldn't have fixed anything. It would have just given them something new to fight about. Down the hall, another couple sits in silence, the weight of last night pressing down on them like a secret they're not sure they're ready to share. He's still replaying every moment, every touch, every whispered promise, trying to convince himself that love is enough to keep them together. She's quiet, lost in thought, wondering if crossing that line has changed them forever. The phone buzzes again, another message from his mother, another reminder that their time together is running out. He wants to tell her he's ready to stay, to fight for their future, but the words catch in his throat. What if he's wrong? What if love isn't enough? She senses his hesitation and pulls away. Just a little, enough to make him wonder if he's already lost her. The aftermath is messy, raw, and real. Two people trying to hold on to something fragile, hoping it won't shatter under the weight of reality. Meanwhile, at the family's house, the boyfriend sits across from her father, hands shaking as he finally decides to come clean. He takes a deep breath, looks the man in the eye, and admits the truth he's been hiding for months. He already has children. 5 of them, 2 still young, needing him in ways he's not sure he can handle. The room goes silent, the father's face unreadable. The girlfriend's eyes fill with tears, not just from shock, but from the realization that the future she imagined may never happen. The confession lands like a bomb, shattering the illusion of a perfect family before it even began. The father stands up, voice low and steady, and says he respects the honesty, but he won't let his daughter settle for half-truths and broken promises. The boyfriend nods, accepting the consequences, but inside he feels a strange sense of relief. The secret is out, and for the first time in months, he can breathe. The fallout ripples through each couple, forcing them to confront the truth about what they want and what they're willing to sacrifice. The girlfriend who wanted a baby to save her relationship realizes she's been chasing a fantasy, hoping for a miracle that was never going to come. She looks at her boyfriend, really looks at him, and sees the fear, the uncertainty, the unwillingness to change. She knows it's time to let go, to stop waiting for someone who's never going to show up for her the way she deserves. The boyfriend, relieved but guilty, wonders if he's lost the only person who ever truly cared about him. He promises to do better, but she's already halfway out the door, ready to start over on her own terms. The couple who shared their first night together face a different kind of reckoning. The intimacy brought them closer, but it also exposed every insecurity, every doubt, every fear about the future. He wants to stay, to build a life with her, but the reality of leaving his family, his country, everything he's ever known is overwhelming. She wants to believe in their love, but she's scared of being left behind, of waking up one day to find he's gone. They talk late into the night, voices low and urgent, trying to find a way forward. In the end, they make a decision that surprises them both, a promise to fight for each other no matter what, even if it means taking risks they never imagined. But not every secret has been revealed, and not every decision is final. There's a new tension simmering beneath the surface, a sense that something big is about to happen. Maybe it's a confrontation that will force the truth into the open, or a proposal that will change everything in an instant. Whatever it is, none of them are ready, and neither are we. The next move could flip the story upside down, and the fallout will be felt by everyone. If you think you've seen drama, You haven't seen anything yet. The living room is quiet, but the silence is heavy, every second stretching out as the family tries to process what's just been revealed. The father sits back in his chair, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the boyfriend who finally confessed to having 5 children. The girlfriend's hands are shaking, her mind racing through every conversation, every plan, every dream she'd built on a foundation that now feels like sand. She wants to scream, to cry, to ask why he waited so long to tell her the truth, but all she can do is stare at him, searching for any sign that the man she loves is still in there somewhere. The boyfriend looks down, ashamed, but also strangely lighter, as if the weight of his secret was crushing him more than the fallout ever could. The father breaks the silence first, his voice softer than anyone expects. He says honesty matters, but so does trust, and trust is hard to rebuild once it's broken. He tells his daughter she deserves someone who's all in, not someone who's still running from his past. The words sting, but they're true, and everyone in the room knows it. The girlfriend stands up, wiping her eyes, and tells her boyfriend she needs time to think. She loves him, but love isn't enough if it's built on lies. She leaves the room, and for the first time, the boyfriend realizes he might have lost her for good. He sits there, replaying every moment, every missed opportunity to come clean, and wonders if he'll ever get another chance. The father watches him go, shaking his head, but there's a hint of respect in his eyes. At least the truth is out, even if it's too late to fix what's broken. Across town, the couple who thought a baby might save them are facing their own reckoning. The negative test result hangs between them, a silent reminder that hope can't fix what's already falling apart. The girlfriend sits on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor while her boyfriend paces the room, trying to find the right words. He says he cares about her, that he wants to make things work, but she's heard it all before. She asks him if he's ever going to change, if he's ever going to be the man she needs, and he doesn't have an answer. The silence is louder than any argument, and she knows, deep down, that it's time to let go. She stands up, grabs her bag, and tells him she's done waiting for him to grow up. He watches her walk out the door, and for the first time, he realizes what he's lost. The relief he felt when the test was negative is gone, replaced by a hollow ache that won't go away. Meanwhile, the couple who shared their first night together are facing a different kind of uncertainty. The morning after is filled with quiet smiles and gentle touches, but the reality of their situation is impossible to ignore. His phone keeps buzzing with messages from his mother, each one more desperate than the last. The lawyer calls again, reminding them that time is running out. They sit together, holding hands, trying to figure out what comes next. He tells her he wants to stay, that he's willing to risk everything for a chance at a life together. She believes him, but she's scared. She knows how hard it will be, how many obstacles they'll have to face, but for the first time, she feels like they're on the same team. They make a plan, a real one, to fight for their future, no matter what anyone else says. But not every story ends with a clean break or a happy reunion. Some wounds take longer to heal, and some decisions can't be undone. The girlfriend who walked away from her party boy boyfriend finds herself alone for the first time in years. But instead of feeling lost, she feels free. She starts to rebuild her life, piece by piece, learning to trust herself again. The boyfriend who confessed his secret tries to make amends, reaching out to his children, trying to be the father he never was. The couple fighting for their future face setback after setback, but every challenge brings them closer. Every obstacle a reminder of how much they have to lose. Now that everything's out in the open, the question is what they'll do next. Will the boyfriend win back his girlfriend's trust, or is it too late? Will the party boy finally grow up, or will he keep running from responsibility? Will the young couple's love survive the pressure, or will reality tear them apart? The answers aren't clear, and the stakes have never been higher. There's one more twist coming, a decision that will change everything, and nobody sees it coming. If you think you know how this story ends, think again. The final move is about to be played, and it's going to leave everyone stunned. Sometimes the biggest moments in life don't come with fireworks or dramatic music. Sometimes they're quiet, heavy, and impossible to ignore. When the dust settles, what's left isn't always what you hoped for, but it's real. That's the thing about commitment. No matter how many promises you make, how many rings you buy, or how many times you say you'll change, nothing sticks if you're not honest with yourself first. Babies can't patch up trust that's already torn. A proposal on a mountaintop won't erase the pain of secrets kept for too long. Even the most passionate night can't guarantee a future if you're both still haunted by doubts and fears you're too scared to say out loud. Think back to the bathroom, where a single line on a test decided the fate of a couple who thought a baby might be the answer. The relief on his face, the heartbreak on hers, those emotions don't lie. She wanted something to hold them together, but what she really needed was someone who'd choose her, not just the idea of a family. He thought he could fake his way through, but the truth always finds a way out. When she walked away, it wasn't just the end of a relationship. It was the start of her learning to trust herself again, to stop waiting for someone else to give her worth. Then there's the boyfriend who finally told the truth about his past, risking everything because he couldn't keep living a lie. The look on her face when she realized the future she'd imagined was built on half-truths, there's no easy way to come back from that. But honesty, even when it hurts, is the only way to move forward. Maybe they'll find their way back to each other, or maybe this is where their paths split for good. Either way, the lesson is the same. You can't build something real on secrets. The cost is always higher than you think. And what about the couple who took a leap together, risking heartbreak for a chance at something real? Their first night wasn't perfect, but it was honest. They faced their fears, admitted their doubts, and chose each other anyway. That's what commitment looks like. Not a grand gesture, but 1,000 small choices to show up, to be vulnerable, to fight for each other, even when it's hard. Their story isn't finished, and the road ahead won't be easy, but they've learned that love isn't about avoiding pain. It's about facing it together, one day at a time. If you're watching this and wondering what it all means for your own life, here's what I want you to take away. Don't look for quick fixes. Don't hope a baby, a ring, or a dramatic gesture will solve problems you're too afraid to face. Real commitment starts with honesty, with yourself and with the people you love. If you're not ready, say so. If you're scared, admit it. If you've made mistakes, own them. The people who matter will respect you more for your truth than for any story you try to sell them. It's easy to get caught up in the drama, to root for happy endings, to hope that love will conquer all. But real life is messier than that. Sometimes the person you love isn't the person you're meant to be with. Sometimes the family you dream of looks different than you imagined. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from something that isn't working, even if it breaks your heart. Remember the moments that made you gasp, the confessions that changed everything, the choices that left you wondering what you'd do in their place. These aren't just stories, they're reminders that everyone is fighting their own battles, making impossible decisions, and hoping for a little bit of grace along the way. If you've ever felt lost, scared, or unsure, you're not alone. The real cost of commitment isn't measured in rings or baby clothes. It's measured in honesty, courage, and the willingness to start over when you need to. And if you thought this was wild, wait till you see what happens when secrets come out at the reunion. The drama isn't over, it's only getting started.